What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the OddsShopper channel, coming to you with a two-game Christmas edition of NFL Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become apprised whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. First off, happy holidays. Merry Christmas. I'm ready to rock here with two games. I'm going to be breaking everything down we have before us. I mean, we've got some good ones on tap. Kansas City at Pittsburgh. Lots of injury news that's existing in that one. And, well, some guys that are going to be in that I wasn't necessarily expecting. George Pickens off the injury report. And then, of course, Baltimore and Houston, talking about some of the issues here with Houston's passing game in the absence of Stephon Diggs and now Tank Dell. But we got Jordan Klein along here for the party. It's not producer Jacob here today. Producer Jordan Klein, very happy to have him alongside me. He's over on the Stochastic YouTube channel doing a great job day in, day out. But Lindy 50, if you're looking to get yourself a little bit of a gift, we'll talk about that here at the halfway portion. But you can go down below, get a head start, join that Discord where we are firing on all cylinders. I mean, Detroit money line yesterday, in addition to getting the 6 points, in addition to Malik Beasley, 14.5 points. Ended up hitting a lock on Bobby Portis that showed up in the points plus rebounds, over 31.5. He covers it on the hook. It was a beautiful time there. So helped out with that Jason Tatum random scratch. But NBA, NFL, and then, of course, MLB when that starts back up in March. Lindy 50, 50% off. $10 for your first week, $25 for your first month. But producer Jordan Klein, he's on hand. We've got Christmas stuff to do, as do you. So let's get flying. Let's get to the picks. The Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes was just fine with that ankle. He ends up having the first touchdown. I'm not huge into the first touchdown market. I've dabbled a little bit here and there. Not going to be something that long-term projects out with tons of positive EV. Plus, well, you can get some high variant stuff like Patrick Mahomes off of a high ankle sprain, mid to high ankle sprain, whatever they were calling it, getting that first rushing touchdown. Well, now they're going on the road, taking on Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh, the complexion of their offense is, just changes dramatically here with George Pickens off the injury report. Now, the splits for Russell Wilson with him on the field and off the field are kind of staggering. Right around a 68 QBR with George Pickens on the field. Right around a 34 QBR with George Pickens off the field. We're looking at one of the, I mean, that's about as big as splits as you'll find. Nearly double the QBR when you're looking at Russell Wilson and how he projects. Now, of course, you have both sides of this one. And how does Pittsburgh defense, which, has not looked as good here in recent weeks, taking on Philly and such, how does it succeed here going up against Mahomes and company? Well, a couple of things. You got to shut down Travis Kelce. Every team is finding new and effective ways to be doubling him in spots like that. But with DeAndre Hopkins and now Hollywood Brown, who only ran 15 routes last week, but he got targeted on 8 of them. Well, as that workload comes up, it's going to be especially tilting to try to cover this offense. But I will say this. If you watched last week, I was extremely impressed by Kareem Hunt. I think Kareem Hunt was probably the highlight of that offense. I know people will point to Hollywood Brown, but he wasn't on the field all that much. And Kareem Hunt, he took over a massive amount of the workload there in that second half. Isaiah Pacheco, yeah, he looks like he's always running like 100 miles per hour on a treadmill with a backpack on. He's like Draymond Green out there, but he's very much basically just running game exclusive at the moment. You had Kareem Hunt making great catches out of the backfield, picking up pass pro in so many different ways. And the more that I project out the split between those two here in this Pittsburgh spot, it's kind of like the way that I look at Jaylen Warren on the Pittsburgh side. I think he's going to end up getting more of the work here in a game Pittsburgh is one expected to trail, although I think it's going to be much more competitive. And I think Jaylen Warren just gives them a different dynamic to that passing game because he can actually do it. Najee Harris, that's not his forte at any point in his NFL career or going back to college, if we're being honest. But as I look at Pittsburgh, I do think they'll make this game pretty competitive. And as such, Kareem Hunt in Kansas City trying to secure that 1 seed going into week 18. So week 17 here, kicking it off on Wednesday, short week for both teams. Give me Kareem Hunt continuing his resurgence here, 40.5 rushing plus receiving yards. I think that's a pretty advantageous number. I'm leaning towards Jaylen Warren touchdown. I think that's very interesting. Now, obviously, coming off of a sweep with that Green Bay, New Orleans festivities, Chris Brooks, I mean, I'd project Jaylen Warren to have a better chance there than Chris Brooks. Obviously, everybody who partook in that plus 650 is very happy with me watching this video. Again, grab the brooms. It was beautiful times. But as I look at this game, not one that I'm looking at the total, not one I'm looking at the spread, I think those props are pretty much the only two that are positive EV here at this given time. Once again, friends, if you want to get all of my plays, because I'm sure there's going to be some stuff that shows up here tomorrow for the NFL streets, 50% off using code Lindy50 down at the link below. $20 for your first week would become $10 for your first week. $50 for your first month would become $25 for your first month just by using the code on your screen. It's Christmas after all. Thought I'd give you a gift, and you can utilize this gift at any point you want. Lindy50 eternally in play here for everybody for your first week or first month. Choose wisely. It's less than $1 a day. Less than $1 a day to check it out for a month using that code on the screen. So Lindy50, would love to see you there. Let's keep the momentum rolling. Alrighty, y'all, let's get to the last game. Baltimore at Houston here in this one, and a couple of pieces of injury news. Well, the first one, Tank Dell, it's so sad. Obviously, he's going to have to get his entire leg reconstructed, kneecap off, torn ACL in addition to it. I mean, just brutality all the way around. And the guy held on to the touchdown catch. I will keep that memory in mind. And obviously, it really sucked to see CJ Stroud there at Arrowhead and having the breakdown. I don't know. Some people like their coworkers a lot, considering, I don't know. Greg Ehrenberg from time to time. He would cry for me, right, Jordan Klein? Don't answer that. Baltimore, though, when you project them out every single week, I mean, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, it's a two-horse race, although Josh Allen is way, way ahead. And also, I think just because Josh Allen hasn't won an MVP probably hurts, considering Lamar Jackson is just up to his old tricks. Slinging it out there. He has Derrick Henry behind him in the running game. Everything across the board looks really good to be a Raven, except for Linderbaum, their main center, their star center, third in WAR. I mean, this guy is questionable entering this game. I don't know if he plays or not. Justice Hill is not completely cleared concussion protocol. He is questionable for this game. You've got Nelson Aguilar, who obviously doesn't matter all that much. Eagles fans know that. Just saying, want to throw him in there. And Falalele, which obviously kind of has some holiday overtones to it at the guard position. This offensive line could be a little bit downgraded from what it typically looks like. And I don't know what to make of it here right now. All I know is that I have no idea how the Texans continue to just sling it around here. Now, Deontay Johnson will not be active for this game. He did get claimed off of waivers. Yeah, there we go. He's going to look really, 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 really good here for Houston to finish out the season if they can get him up to speed. But it's not going to be this week. So next week, probably going to be on the docket for Houston to get Deontay Johnson there. It would behoove him to look better after his Ravens tenure, and that Raven tenure had one catch involved in it and multiple off the field issues. It's basically saying, hey, give me a long-term contract or I'm not going to play. Houston, probably going to give him a long-term contract if I had to guess here at this point in time. But the more I run iterations of this game, the more that I go through it, I get the strength of schedule difference between the two being it's the main tipping point for me. The Ravens, first in adjusted strength of schedule this season. First, the most difficult strength of schedule in the entire NFL. They're 10-5, 8-6-1 against the spread, which is pretty solid. In Houston, 21st in strength of schedule against across the NFL. I mean, we're talking about a disparity that you can't really quantify. What we're seeing here, though, in the number is what I'm quantifying. I would have this closer to 6.5. Now, 1.5 points there is not as valuable as 1.5 through a key number. I think we can all make sense of that, but -5 exists at one book and one book only. It is BetMGM, and I am laying that here with Baltimore. There's 5.5s and 6s. Again, those aren't as valuable. If you only have 5.5, I am just fine with it whatsoever. Also, from a prop perspective, Joe Mixon. If you do have Baltimore struggle in this game, Joe Mixon's probably going to have a gigantic outing. I would probably be pairing some of his rushing stuff if you were looking at like a surprise dog play or a single game parlay version of it, but for me, I'm playing Baltimore. I think it's the clear-cut side. Once again, a little bit inefficient of a number. And that does it for another edition of NFL Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this Christmas slate. 2 gamers going on Netflix. Hopefully, fingers crossed, this isn't another Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, streaming doesn't work, buffering situation. But Jordan Klein, he's off to Christmas. We're going to get him out of here. I'm going to get myself out of here as well. Hopefully you had a great holiday season. We'll be back in action for Thursday Night Football. Looking for another sweep here on the Showdown Lean Like Locks series. Until then, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the NFL streets on Wednesday. Merry Christmas.